Good evening, everybody. I should say good evening. This is a very somber time here at MVG Productions and WKPH Cincinnati. As most of you know by now, we lost the legend of legends, which I guess could be argued in a sense, but for most of us, across many generations, we lost a legend in Bob Barker, who passed away yesterday at 99 years old. And the news report says that he passed away, obviously, of natural causes. He was obviously known for his 35 years on The Price is Right, which is a lot we'll be talking about tonight. Before we get into any of that, however, we would like to, at this time, invite all of you who are watching, and for those of you joining us in the audience tonight, we have about 14 people with us tonight. Please join us now in remembering not only the memory of Bob Barker, but in memory of his wife, Dorothy Jo, who, if there is an afterlife, they are together again after 40 years. Please join us now in remembering Dorothy Jo and Bob Barker in a moment of silence. Thank you. Tonight with me is Jason Myers and Brandon Scruggs. Brandon, obviously the head of MVG Productions here. Jason with Jakaya 316 is with us here. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Kevin.
Well, I think the first order of business is we need to talk about the obvious. We've lost Bob Barker at the age of 99. And Jason, I would like to start with you, if I may. Where were you when you got this news, and what was your reaction?
I was 1 hour into my shift at work when I started getting the notifications through Discord and through text messages. At least 10 people right out of the gate started messaging saying Bob Barker passed away at the age of 99, and I had to stop what I was doing to look up the news articles to make sure that it was legit, first of all, because there's been a lot of death hoaxes lately, and I just wanted to check everything. And sure enough, there was the CBS report, and I was like, shit.
I think that's fair to say. I mean, there's really no good or bad reaction to it, honestly. Brandon, how about you?
Me and my... Hold on a second. Sorry. Already choked up, and we're only like a couple minutes into this already. Me and my wife were actually on a little road trip going out to do some satellite looking as we were going down to South Carolina when I had got the notification that he had passed too. And considering the recent deaths, being that most of you who have watched the channel and gotten to know me over the years, as I'm a big wrestling fan, losing Terry Funk on Thursday, losing Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt, on Friday, and then turn around and Bob Barker yesterday. I'm like, there comes it's the old adage in saying, when it rains, it pours, but my goodness, like, I was like, okay, but I've always believed in, like, the rule of three, like, when you have major deaths like that, they come in threes, but I wasn't expecting this one, particularly with Bob.
Well, in this case, it's a rule of four, because we found out today that the longtime voice actress of Harley Quinn from the Batman series, Arlene Sorkin, had passed away this morning.
Yeah, so like I said, it's been rough. Like a lot of our icons, a lot of legends we look up to are leaving this earth. Some on time, some maybe far too early. It depends on who you ask. But tonight we want to focus in on the one in question here, but one that's probably affected more Americans and more folks across the country in our lifetimes, and that being Bob Barker himself.
Indeed.
Yes. I got the news. I was actually having kind of a lazy morning yesterday in bed, and I was talking to a lady friend of mine, and I saw a message in our Discord from a member, Kyle Hershon, that said that according to Randy West, who's a well-known game show announcer, that Bob Barker had passed away. And not that I don't believe Randy West or anything of that sort, but the broadcaster and journalist in me right away instinctually decided to get confirmation. And within seconds, I got it from KABC, which is out of California, confirming the death of Bob Barker. And then my phone just lights up. Bing, 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 bing. Fox News, NBC, whoever else. That became a real thing, and I mean really fast. And my heart sank, honestly. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Obviously, death being inevitable to everybody, and people living to ages like 99, 100, and even beyond that. Obviously, the day is coming, but you never fully prepare for it. At least I don't think so. And it really it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I think that's going to be the natural reaction to everybody who speaks here tonight. For those of you watching, thank you very much for doing so, and please stay tuned, because after we eulogize Bob, in a sense, we're going to be playing a game of The Price is Right, hosted by my man Brandon Scruggs over here, and we're going to have some fun. I think that's probably the best thing to do in his honor, is to, number one, talk about him, remember him, especially now that we know that there is no funeral or memorial, according to what I read online. He's just going to be interred and buried next to his late wife, Dorothy Jo. So, like to welcome again everybody in the chat. We have a lot of people joining us. Thank you very much for that. We're going to begin the proceedings tonight. Each member of our channel who are here tonight and have something they want to say, everyone's going to get a turn. They're going to speak for about 4 or 5 minutes. And what we've asked them to do is to share with us their memories, because there are many, many, many years worth of memories across so many generations. And I'm personally looking very forward to hearing what everybody has to say. Then we'll wrap up with Jason, Brandon, and me. And to start us off here tonight, let's go with, let's welcome Neil Sternitsky, who is here from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And Neil, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me on, guys. Let me turn my camera on if I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
You are.
Here we go. Had to get
You may begin.
Right hat. Got the shirt going here.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Love it.
And, well, for me, I'd have to say Bob was like a grandfather to me. I didn't know either of my actual biological grandfathers. And see, he was kind of, he was always there for days when you're home sick from school, summer vacation. And even after I graduated high school, I got to see him, and what ended up being his last season after that. So I think Bob is going to be remembered for his wit, his charm, always bringing the best out of the contestants on the show, building those climactic moments. Like one that comes to mind would be the what's the word I'm looking for? The fake out he would do in like Grand Game or Temptation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
those were always the best moments. And the world lost somebody great, and there won't be another one like him. But like you guys said, after all these years, at the end of it, he's reunited with his wife.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're all like happy for, the fact that a relationship that they haven't had in like 40 years, and they'll finally be able to be back together again. So,
yes,
indeed, and we can't forget about all the work he did for the animal rights.
Yeah, especially the ASPCA, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember there were many times when him and the models and even Roddy were playing on Family Feud for charity, and they were donating the money to animal rights causes. And
they were.
That was great. I love that.
Yeah, that was great.
While I have you here, Neil, let me ask you a question. You have actually stepped foot in the iconic Bob Barker studio. Tell us what that was like.
Well, the irony of that is that happened 9 years ago today, as we're
Wow.
filming this.
Ooh.
And that was well after Bob had retired, and it was so surreal to walk into that studio. When you come into the studio, you walk through the same entrance that Bob would use for his audience entrance. So
Wow.
that was cool to me. And while I wasn't a contestant, I did actually get to step foot on stage, as Kevin said, go up the famous stairs where contestants row was, and step foot on stage. I got to hang out even backstage. But the one thing that'll stick in my mind is when we took a picture with Rachel. We were standing right in front of door number 2, and it was right about where Bob would be when he would make his regular entrances through the doors. And that was just so cool to me, to stand in that perspective that he would see when he would walk out onto that stage.
Well, I think many of us are in awe of you.
Right.
I know I am. That's wonderful, and thank you very much, Neil. What a perspective, and I knew you'd be able to give us some great insight and your memories. So we appreciate it, Neil. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Next on the list is actually, I'm not.
I believe it's Patrick.
Okay, thank you. Let's welcome. Thank you. Some of these guys have screen names, and I'm not entirely sure who all of them are. Let's welcome now Gianni Pizzi, who is here from Westfield, New Jersey. Gianni, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Thank you. Good to be here.
What would you like to share with us? How would you like to memorialize or eulogize Bob Barker?
Well, I'm going to say Bob was definitely, I think, one of the hosts that, for me, that I think started my love for game shows and made me want to, hopefully, start hosting game shows on my own, which I will hopefully do here soon on MVG. But I have had a really long history with Bob and watching Price is Right. I know a lot of people have, had a lot of memories of watching Bob, on their sick days from school. I remember watching Price. Unfortunately, I started watching around 2009, 2010 when I first heard about the Price is Right when I was like 8 years old. So obviously I didn't really get to see Bob on TV, but luckily with a lot of the Pluto TV airings from the Barker era, I've definitely, got to see a lot of more full Bob. I remember one of the first memories I have from watching his Price is Right was for Christmas one year. I think my parents got me that Best of Price is Right DVD.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, the ones from the early 70s and the whole of his last week. And I think one of my greatest memories I remember about 10 years ago in 2013, I actually got to go see Price is Right live. It was actually a little less than a week before Bob's 90th birthday, so they did a little honorary tribute to Bob. And I think Todd Newton, who was hosting it then, did it.
Oh, I love that. Where did you see him?
It was at the State Theater in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay. Yeah, the 90th birthday thing. I remember that very well. I was not aware of the fact that they did that tribute, but that's very appropriate. And if you don't mind my asking, how old are you?
21.
21. So you probably didn't get to see a lot of them live,
No.
except through the Barker era on Pluto TV, right?
Yeah.
Good enough. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. That means a lot because I Brandon. Before we go on, I'm very interested actually in the younger generation's perspective. Those who have seen only the Barker era on Pluto TV, and those who were not old enough. Gee, we're getting old.
I know.
Of being able to watch them on CBS.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because there's people who are born right now that never got to see Bob on stage live on any episode that was ever taped. In some cases, he was simply they're watching the playbacks through Pluto TV. Thankfully, they have both now the Bob Barker and Drew's channel both there, so you get all the prices right you want to see there. But yeah, I've been watching some of those lately before I heard of his passing too, just remembering some of those great moments and what an amazing MC he was.
Yes. Thank you again, Gianni.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to be bringing in a young man from Rocky Top, Tennessee. You know him very well here on the channel, as well as his own channel. Justin Ray from Rocky Top, Tennessee. And Justin Ray, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Kevin, guys, thank you very much for having me, and
Good evening.
thank you for that shout out there from my channel. I really appreciate it, but that's not why we're here tonight. We are here to immortalize and pay tribute to one of the most iconic game show hosts in all of our existences, Bob Barker. And for me personally, when I got the news and everything, I first started seeing the notifications come through just like Jason did. And I got to work that morning and I just couldn't believe it. I knew in my heart that this day was coming. We all of us wanted him to live to be 100, but good Lord above had other plans for him. He's now reunited with his wife. God love her. God rest her soul. And for me, I've got family members that will attest to this. From a very, very young age, probably a year or so old, they'll tell you that sitting there while they were babysitting me, watching Price is Right while my mom was at work, I could tell you the prices right then and there. And they're like, how the heck did you do that? How did you get that right? And I'm like, I don't know, guys. I really don't. And there were a few times that I had to be knocked back a couple pegs, but anyways, this one struck home. I know we've lost a lot of our great and favorite MCs and everything over the years here, but Bob was one of the ones that I wasn't looking forward to losing. So thank you all so much for getting this together and doing this evening. I love you all. I love you, Bob. And God rest you, sir. Thank you for all the memories you gave to us as fans of The Price is Right. And if it's all right with y'all, give a little one last shameless plug. Help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Very well said. I'm not getting emotional, I promise.
Right. Trying not to, but it's hard to.
Let me put these onions away real quick.
Yeah, I told you should have had dinner ready before we started shooting.
I'm a late eater.
I know.
Oh man, that was beautiful, Justin. It truly was. And incidentally, you're not the only person who was able to figure out those prices. I think some dude named Ted Slauson figured something like that out as well, and became probably the most loved/hated person on the internet. So
Right.
Yeah,
maybe not the internet, but at least in the Bob Barker studio. Yeah,
maybe. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's check out a documentary. It's called Perfect Bid.
Yeah, you can
Actually,
find it on
a very good documentary.
Yeah, you can find it on Netflix right now, I believe.
Yeah,
It's
Netflix
it's
or
also on
YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, say YouTube
Yeah.
movies. Yeah.
It's
Justin, thank you very much. And I also want to state for the record that I'm not rolling my eyes while I'm listening to each one of you because I got two monitors here. I'm looking at this one through the comments, and while I'm thinking about it, those of you watching us right now, put in the comments in the chat anything you'd like to say, and we'll go through them, read some on the air. So please feel welcome to do that.
Yeah.
Justin, again, thank you very much. That was beautiful. Truly was.
Thank-
Next, we have Mark Leota, who is joining us, our first international guest from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And he is close to our age, so I imagine he's seen a show or six. So, Mark Leota, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Thank you, Kevin. It's good for you to have me here tonight.
And you're looking good, I might say.
Well, thank you very much.
Please share.
All right. Well, first off, in my mind, if I were to make my own Mount Rushmore of game show hosts, Bob Barker would be one of those that would definitely be on it for sure. And he was actually the inspiration for me wanting to host game shows myself. Now, granted, having hosted game shows on the internet for the last 20 years or so isn't exactly the same as hosting an actual TV game show, but it's good enough for me.
Sure.
And I'm happy with that. And I actually started watching at a very young age. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 years old, so about early 90s, when my mom's parents would babysit me. That was one of the first game shows that I ever watched. And I'm not sure if you know this, Kevin. I might have mentioned this a few times. I'm not sure if you know this, but I actually saw a taping of The Price is Right.
I did not know that. I know you saw Jeopardy and met Alex Trebek, but I never knew that about Price is Right. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so 14 years ago. Now, of course, at that point, that was 2 years into Bob Barker's retirement, so Drew Carey was still in his early years.
Sure.
But it was a good experience, and I was not picked as a contestant at that taping, unfortunately, but the experience is still well worth it. And they say that the studio in person is a lot smaller than how it actually looks when you're watching it on TV, and that's certainly true.
Let me ask you this. Could you see, smell, and witness the history of that studio as you're walking through it? I meant to ask Neil that, but I'll ask you, though.
Yeah, I can definitely see some of the history. I mean, I know they put a plaque up there back in 1998 to commemorate him hosting 5,000 shows.
Yes.
I don't know if I got a chance to see the plaque, but he was someone that definitely deserved it. And if you were growing up in that generation, 70s, 80s, 90s, and you were sick from home from school that day, he was basically daytime television comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
Said, I like that.
Yeah.
Daytime television comfort food. I'm going to steal that. I like that. That's good. And I'm not trying to hold the show, by the way. Jason, Brandon, if you have anything you'd like to ask Mark or any of our guests as well, please feel free to do so. I'm not a one-man show here, folks.
No,
you've been listening to the experiences.
Yeah, you've been fine. You're asking some of the same questions that I would at this point. So I'm
okay, just making sure. I'm not stealing the show, folks. I promise.
No, first, I'm just going to need you to get out of my headspace when this is all done, though. 'Cause I have some private thoughts I want to keep in there on my own, please. Thank you.
Fair enough. What was one more question I'd like to ask you, Mark, is when you went, do you by any chance remember what was the most exciting thing you saw that day when you saw a taping of The Price is Right? Anybody win a double showcase? Anyone hit $1, win a new car?
Well, the first game that they played, the taping that I went to, from what I remember, was Spelling Bee, and someone did win a car in that game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, the showcase was a double overbid.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But obviously, that's generally what happens. I mean, They usually have at least a showcase winner most of the time, but that was one of the rare instances where nobody won the showcase, and that happens, unfortunately, sometimes. It's part of the game.
Very much so. And, and I've got to believe all of us have watched The Price is Right for a few years to all our lives or anywhere in between. It's one thing to watch somebody win a car or a lot of money or a prize on television, but it's a whole nother experience, I have to believe, to see it in person and just watch them jump for joy, the energy in that studio. I can only imagine that.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that it's different in studio than it is watching on TV?
Most certainly. And actually, I might have mentioned this to a few other people, but I'm actually planning to go back in a couple of months to see them tape at their new studio in Glendale.
Isn't it ironic, Brandon and Jason, that we lost Bob after the last year of the Bob Barker studio? Can you say irony?
Yeah, I don't want to because I'm not.
Right.
I don't want to read into that too much because it gets me worried about a few things. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Fair enough.
I guess it would be apropos, if you will.
It almost seems that way. I couldn't agree more. Mark, thank you very much. That's a great story and a wonderful way to remember Bob. Thank you very much, Mark.
No problem.
You bet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brandon, you were going to say something?
Yeah. Reading through some of the comments here, some of our folks who are watching here on YouTube here. One of them in particular, Gary just chimed in here. He said, Bob Barker was an awesome host, watched him most of his life. Many of his favorites were when he had the contestants become double showcase winners and winning brand new cars. And remembering his loyalty to animal rights as well. So that comes from Gary there.
Thank you, Gary. Very well appreciated. I'll tell you, I don't know what I liked more, honestly, double showcase winners or the double dollar spins. I mean, there was so many exciting elements, and Bob always found a way, and like I said, we'll discuss more about this later with ourselves. Always had a way, he had a flair for the dramatic, for absolute sure. Next, old friend of ours, and I don't mean that just in the age sense, sorry, Eric, but Eric Lima is an OG of the online game show community. He's probably one of the smartest guys I personally know, and I think Brandon and Jason can vouch for that. From New Bedford, Massachusetts, Eric Lima, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Well, hello there, Mr. Henry, Mr. Jason, Mr. Brandon. How you guys doing?
We're good, man.
We're okay. We're
okay for now.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you guys again. I figured I'd come on here and pay my little respects and tribute to a legendary game show host. As you know,
wish it was under better circumstances.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I did a video on Mr. Barker himself, but I will have an opportunity to give you a little bit of memory of Barker watching The Price is Right many, many years.
Please.
There was one episode where Cliffhangers was played, and I think a contestant named Clint was on that show. And he was up on stage and he played Cliffhangers. And he says, how much you guess the price? And every time the contestant goes, like, $16.95. No, we round it up to the nearest dollar. Okay. And the guy said $300-something. I'm like, what? And then everybody say, no. Is he right? No. And and then when the mountain climber was going, aka Yoli guy was going up the mountain, I think Diane or Janice, I think it was Diane that made a suggestion. You guys could sit down and just watch him. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Clint, sit down with me, and he watches, and he goes, well, he's still singing, so it's just so funny. He's like, he's still singing. We'll find out. We'll wait when it happens. We'll wait, and then we finally, there he goes, and it was one of the funniest things ever. Bob Barker knows how to have a little sense of humor in that. Also, you got to remember, Bob Barker also had an opportunity to star in movies. Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
The fight with Adam Sandler. Come on. That was great.
Iconic, if you will.
Iconic. I mean, that was one of the most. And as a wrestling fan, obviously, Brendan, we know about this. We talked about one of the deaths of two great wrestlers in Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. Bob Barker made an appearance on Monday Night Raw, September the 7th, 2009.
Yes, I remember
as
that.
As a guest host of Monday Night Raw. And the way he owned Chris Jericho was hilarious. Let the man talks. The man talks. He said, I don't like him pouting. I did call him Happy Boy one time. Because Chris Jericho was like this the whole time.
Yes, I remember that.
On Contestants Row. He goes, with Barker. One, he's like, I was like, Bob Barker owned him. I'm like, wow. So it was, Bob Barker was the most respected man and well known throughout not just the game show community, but throughout Hollywood and all that. And just for him, I mean, he hosted pageants. He served our country, for goodness sake. So we got to thank him for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unbelievable. And I was kind of shocked when I found out on X, Twitter. I don't want to call it that. I'm like, what? I'm like, at first I threw up my hands, going, another one. Come on,
Right.
And then, like I said, I was on a live stream, Wrestling Action, with Jordan Little last night, and we found out that Arlene Sorkin also passed away. But Bob Barker, man, he is. How you doing? Whoever said hi to me, David 3000. Okay, Bob Barker is going to be missed, and he made a lot of daytime. He's a daytime television icon. A daytime fixture, and he had that wit, he had that charm. He was one of the most all-around contestants ever. I put him right up there, like I said, Mount Rushmore. I put Alex Trebek because he's got that sophistication. Jim Perry had that fast-paced. But Bob Barker was well-rounded. There's so many memories. Oh my gosh. There's so many memories about that man. It's unbelievable. I remember when he putted when he did the putt for an inspiration putt for
Yes.
He made one putt, and like a turkey come down and say congratulations.
I remember that episode too. My God, yes.
Yeah, it's like the Groucho Marx, and Bob Barker was laughing and all that. And I remember the reaction when Janice was putting, and then the ball took like a weird turn and it ended up being in the hole. And we're like, they're all trying to figure out how did they get there and all that. And I'm like,
yeah, three of them searching the hole, like, what happened?
Yeah, what did that hit?
Where's Bugs Bunny with the magnet at that point, right?
So, yeah. So, at least he's now reunited not just with his wife, but Rod Roddy and Johnny Olson.
Yeah.
So, and all the other game show hosts like Jim Lang, Peter Tamarkin, and Bill Cullen, Alex Trebek. I can go on, but I think Monty Hall included.
Yeah, Monty Hall too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna miss Bob, and I know his legacy is gonna live on and The Price is Right. As long as that show goes on, his legacy is gonna be there.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing we're all very appreciative of having. The fact that Drew took over when he did, and here we are, 15. Yeah, going on 15 years, starting his 15th or 16th season with the show.
16th or 17th, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
2007 is 16th season.
Yeah, 16. Season. Okay, so yeah, 16 seasons. Like the fact that the show still goes on, and it really has not changed much at all from the original airing from 1970. I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 35 years that man has hosted that show, and to me, he's the Cal Ripken of daytime television. That's all.
Good comparison.
Yeah, very good comparison.
Daytime Iron Man. I like to call Bob Barker because it reminds. Iron Man. Yeah, so it's. I got probably a message, but I got to wrap it up. I think so. That's the case. So thank you for having me on, and Bob Barker, you'll be missed. Control the pet population. Have your pets stay neutered. Bye, everybody.
Close enough.
Thank you, Eric.
Words English hard some days. They really are.
Especially on a night like tonight. No question about it.
I'm sorry taking too long because I know I've.
No, you're fine.
You're fine. No worries.
Everyone's moving along very nicely here. Thank you again, Eric. We really appreciate that. I think Eric is one of the few who got to watch Bob all of his life. I know you and I were as well, Brandon and Jason.
It's a good chunk of my life.
Yeah, good portion of it.
Indeed. Joining us next is Aaron Glenn. Haven't talked to this young man in a while, personally, but I know that he is around on MVG playing games and kicking ass and taking names, obviously. But Aaron is here from Detroit, Michigan, and Aaron Glenn, once we get him settled in here. Do we have him?
We trying to.
I invited him to speak. He has yet to accept.
All right. Well, why don't we circle back to him, and then we'll bring in a good friend of ours from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Those of you watching Gold Rush know that he tore the roof off that place back in season 4. And Scott is hopefully he'll be here. What we're doing here, folks, is we're sending the invites to people to come in and join the broadcast. And everybody is in this audience, whether they're actually present at their computers or not is a whole nother story as we're seeing right here. I'm sorry?
Scott just said one moment.
Okay.
Well, we're getting Scott up here, I'll go ahead and just say my 1 or 2 cents worth, because I don't have as much to say. I mean, I've always respected Bob for his years on the show. I'll say first time I learned of his existence, or even of The Price is Right, was when I was just had turned 6 years old on my 6th birthday, and I was still in kindergarten at the time. So this is circa 1989. So actually, yes. Yeah, 89 at that point, and I ended up having to miss school because I woke up because I had caught chicken pox on my 6th birthday. So yeah, yay me at that point. But so I ended up staying home, scratching or trying not to, as I was being bathed in calamine lotion. And then my mom sits me in front of the TV. She was watching her soaps at the time because she had the day off. And then, lo and behold, she turns over to CBS because she was actually a fan of The Price is Right as well. So that was one of the first times I remember watching an episode from back then, seeing Bob Barker and really becoming just absolutely fascinated with it, which I had already become fascinated with the game show through my dad, who would always ask me trivia questions while we were trying to play tic-tac-toe. So my love for that game show began there. But then this is one of the first memories I remember watching Bob, and I remember being so fascinated with how the pricing stuff, and it was stuff that I had seen in my own grocery store. So I think it was something that just intrigued me and sent me even further down the old rabbit hole, as it were, for game show reasons. So I've always been appreciative of the show and everything that he did, and again, all of his animal activism. So it was always a fond memory that I have of Price is Right and Bob Barker as well.
I think many people our age can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. And I apologize to the folks at home. I would have turned my camera on from the streaming aspects, but I'm actually managing the broadcast myself tonight, so I'm doing all the technical work behind the scenes here for this one, as everybody's having their pieces said. But I will try to jump on.
You look better in the picture anyway.
I know that's one of my better pictures I have, so that's why I left that one up, because I was like, hey, I'm at least in a decent suit at that point.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Do we have Scott? Are we ready for Scott? Well, I guess nobody's ready for Scott, but anyway.
Nobody was ready for Oscar, but that's a whole other subject for another time.
That's true.
Well, is Scott ready for the world?
Yeah.
At least Scott Pilgrim was.
Yeah.
Do we have him?
He says he sees the option to come up, but he can't hit the button. Oof.
All right.
Okay.
And there's no way for us to drag him up.
I don't think so.
All right. Why don't we bring in our next guest and see if he can come in? David St. Dennis. Okay, he's here.
Okay.
we will circle back to you, Scott. Bear with us. You may need to log out and log back in. So in the meantime, I'm not even sure what town in Massachusetts you're from, but David St. Dennis, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Thank you. It's actually, I'm from Sturbridge, Massachusetts, by the way.
I appreciate that. I'd never asked you, and the last time you and I met, you interviewed me. Now I get to interview you, but not in as long of time. So, what do you have to share?
Well, of course, I'm the youngest one in the group, so I never really got to experience watching Bob Barker on television. Because, after like 5 or 7 years old, that's when you remember things in your brain and all of that. But, for me, basically, of how I discovered Bob Barker is just basically through watching Price is Right episodes on YouTube, just learning about him, on his history with the show, and it's incredible that he only missed one show that I looked up the information. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. 35 years of Price is Right and 50 years of television, which took the consequences before that. I was actually watching his first or consequences episode yesterday on YouTube, and it just it really stinks that all of these folks that we grew up watching are passing away, because we always thought certain folks like Bob Barker, Betty White will live on forever, but it just doesn't work that way. And it just really stinks because like what Joe Buck said, generations has come and gone, and it's just really stinks because I just wish that every year we lose a lot of big legends in our lifetime. And when I heard the news yesterday, I think you, Kevin, were one of the first ones that I saw the breaking news from this server when I first heard the announcement, and it got to me because of course, as everybody knows, Dear No Dear is my favorite game show of all time, next to Wipeout. Price is Right is in my top 5 favorite game shows of all time, no question about it. And when Bob Barker passed away, it just really hurt me because I was having a rough month as it is, rough week as it is, and it just really stinks that I'm trying not to cry on here, but it's just really stinks that all these legends that we grew up with in life are now passing away because we keep getting older, and the past, the legends of the 80s, 70s, etc. are passing away. It just really stinks.
I can understand that. It's inevitable, like I said to all of us, but by the same token, in my humble opinion, we have the best way that we can honor somebody that meant so much to us for however long a period of time is just to reminisce with good memories, and I think that's the best thing we can do here. So I do appreciate it. Thanks for making us feel old. I really do appreciate that. But I do appreciate your perspective. I am interested in the young folks' perspective here. So thank you for that, David. Appreciate you.
Just one advice to everybody: just people die young and old. It doesn't matter because anything can happen in life. I've been through, as you know, many health surgeries in my life. Been to the hospital many times. I'm just lucky enough to be alive today because I'm just strong like that, and I bet many people here on this voice call has some health issue, whatever the case is, or some issue going on in their life. And I just want to give everybody advice: just make sure you talk to people that in your life, because you never know when you lose them.
Well said.
Yes, well said indeed. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you, David. Should we try Aaron again?
Yeah, I believe
he's
Aaron's
ready.
All right, let's bring in Aaron Glenn once again from Detroit, Michigan, or I should say, attempt to.
The invite's in. Aaron, if you see the green button, all you gotta do is just click it, and you're up here.
Just bear with us, good people. We do appreciate it. We're gonna get to everybody that we can tonight. Well, we're gonna get to everybody one way or another.
Right.
Yeah, and again, thank you all for those who've tuned in on YouTube watching this live, or who go back and watch this on demand. We do appreciate you taking a moment of your day to just sort of remember a great game show icon and a television legend of the own Bob Barker again, who passed away on Saturday, at the age of 99. Yeah, see, there's so many terrible jokes that have been made already, and I'm like, I can't bring myself to make any of them just in the fact that it's too soon, even for me.
Yeah,
but I'm
there was one that was cycling around on the internet last night, especially on Big John's stream. It was Bob Barker wanted to get as close to 100 without going over.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Like I said, don't get me wrong. The joke is hilarious, and I get it. It
is,
but it's too soon for me. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I pretty much echoed that same sentiment last night. I say that is too soon. It's funny, but it was too soon.
I can't help myself. And as I said before we went on the air, that if he were here today, he'd gotten a chuckle out of that. As we're waiting for Aaron, and we can try Scott again if we need to. Let's look over a couple of quick comments here. Alex Zerl saying that Bob was a golden MC. He hosted game shows like nobody could. I totally agree with that. His work on Truth or Consequences, Price is Right, obviously. Guest hosted Tattletales twice. For you kids, that was back in the 70s. That was the original game show of celebrity gossip.
Definitely worthy of the title of World's Greatest MC.
Yeah,
absolutely. The WGMC. I know that he hosted. I believe he hosted the Family Game for Chuck Barris. I don't think it lasted very long, if at all. I don't know if it went past the pilot. So, but his career was, I guess, more restricted, if you will, to Price is Right and to Truth or Consequences, and he'd do these hosting bits here and there. But be that as it may, an incredible career of longevity and success he had. Let's see. Bronson.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to get Aaron. So
Bronson Wright Rolf says Bob Barker is an iconic game show host. I think Drew Carey does an amazing job hosting The Price is Right. Folks, I'm not going to take anything away from Drew Carey. The one thing that he did, and I'll kind of leave this one alone, is, and I respect this, is the fact that Drew took the show and he made it his own. My personal concern with anybody who was going to take over that show, and there was a lot of discussion as to who was going to take over for Bob Barker. There are a lot of names floating out there. I remember on the short list being Rosie O'Donnell, among others. And Drew Carey, for my money, came out of nowhere. And my primary concern of anybody who was going to take over the hosting role was that they were going to copy what Bob did. Drew took the show and he made it his own. And I cannot do anything except respect that. So
that was actually Bob's advice to him. When he took him out to lunch one day, he told Drew, make the show your own. Don't try to do everything that I did.
I could not agree more with that. That's the same advice I give to whoever succeeds me as host of Gold Rush next year. So we're continuing to have some issues with Aaron and Scott. Do you guys want to try Will? We're going to try and get to you guys as best as we can if we're going to continue to have these technical difficulties.
Yeah, let's try to get Will up here.
Yeah. We're gonna get somebody up here for you guys, I promise.
I'm just gonna start hitting invite to everybody to see who actually can get up here.
Mobile invites are being stubborn. That might be part of the problem right there.
All right. Well,
Wait.
let's go to
Scott's probably
Let's
going
go-
to get on PC.
Let's try to go to Adam then.
if he is there. Adam Oliver coming to us by way of San Antonio, Texas, a longtime member here. I know he definitely has some moments that I'd like to be shared here about The Price is Right as well.
And it appears as though he may not be there either.
Jose.
We'll just go right down the line.
Hey,
Okay.
we got one.
we have a guest, folks. Jose Cazares, you folks have seen him on Gold Rush. You've seen him on, I guess you can say, virtually any game show. You may want to undo your mic there, young man.
Sorry.
And, well, Jose Cazares, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Thank you for having me, man.
Another young man here in his early 20s, and I am obviously curious, as I think Brandon and Jason are, the perspective that folks of your generation have with regard to Bob Barker. So, floor is yours.
Yeah, me being in my early 20s, I don't have much. I didn't see much of Bob Barker's run on The Price is Right. I wish I did, because I know he's left a lasting impact. I've watched some YouTube videos in the past of some of his best highlights as host, but there's not much really I could say. But however, I have been doing my own series of The Price is Right on MVG every Tuesday night as a tribute to him. And this coming Tuesday, like Brandon is going to be doing at the end of this podcast, I'll be doing my own tribute this coming Tuesday, which I will upload to my channel, Sleepy Time Studios, the day after. Because he's left a lasting impact on all of us. I think I could speak for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Can't argue that.
Yeah, Jose, so being that you are one of our younger members here, what, of the moments that you have seen with Bob on the show, what has been one of your favorite ones?
Without a doubt, and I vividly remember this as well on the YouTube video, on a playing of Punch a Bunch when back when the top value was $10,000 and the contestant hit $5,000, the second highest value.
The guy from Louisville, yes.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, y'all know where this is going. But as soon as Bob mentioned the $5,000, the contestant was like, immediately give it back. And Bob was as stunned as all of us were when I saw that for the first time. I'm like, oh my God, is he really about to do this?
Yeah, he did it.
And the infamous line, "Audience, if you're scared, buy a dog." I'm going for it. That has stuck with me in my head ever since I saw it. And as soon as Bob saw the 10,000, he did his thing. He drew it all out like he did with anything big.
It's one of the best teasers ever.
Yes.
And yeah, and then the big reveal.
You know, I have to say, off and on throughout my life, I've played some poker, and I've been told I have a good poker face.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Barker was not a poker player to my knowledge, but boy, he could kick my ass.
Yeah, that he could. I bet.
Because I can see that memory, and folks, we cannot play clips here tonight. I'm sorry.
Mm-mm.
But I remember that. So I remember watching that in first run, and his eyes widen for like a fraction of a second and goes, "Oh, Brian." His name was Brian, by the way. Brian.
Yes,
can we change the rules of the game?
Right.
Yes, yeah.
and for those of you who don't remember, like Jose said, back in the day, the top prize was $10,000. You had two of them. The next highest prize was $5,000. Everything else, I think, was like 100, or rather 1,000, 250, 150.
Mm-hmm.
And so you didn't have many $5,000 slips up there. And the guy went completely, and I do mean completely, against the odds to get that 10,000. But I remember Bob's reaction so well.
Yes.
Definitely a moment in daytime television for sure.
I would not have wanted to play poker against that guy. No way.
But yeah, without a doubt, that's been my greatest memory of him ever.
That's a good one.
or rather any moment where he draws out a big win like that. It's just, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
No, you really can't.
there's definitely a flair for the
Dramatic.
dramatic
Absolutely.
and presentation, and that he was one of the masters at it for sure. But thank you so much
Mhm.
for sharing, Jose. I do appreciate that.
Thanks, Jose.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. You want to try to get Scott back up here, guys?
Yep, he says he switched to a laptop.
We're
so
gonna try this. Third time's the charm. There he is.
we finally got him.
Here, it is a miracle.
See, wrestling rule of 3 works again.
You know, incidentally, I built you up. I made this big introduction, and you can't show up. What's the matter with you?
This is what's the matter. Is mobile.
I got you. And Scott Michaels, good buddy of ours. Welcome again to welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me once again. And I know I only have a few minutes here to just pop in, but I'm glad I can pop in.
We're glad you made some time for us. Again, I think Brandon, Jason, and I ought to retire to the nursing home after this one.
I know. I feel that way.
Go ahead, Scott. Floor is yours.
Yeah, so I guess the first real thought moment I've ever had with Price is Right was just being at my grandparents' house and then getting introduced to it. And I still remember the first game I ever watched, which was my favorite, which is one that everybody hates whenever we played in Big John's, which is On the Spot.
That one was a slightly different one for sure.
Yeah, it's my favorite just because I remember it, and it's still one of my favorites, even though it is a very hard game to actually win. But I don't know, there's something about the game that I just like about it. God, I feel like one of my favorite Barker moments of all time has to be like when he was hosting his $1 Million Spectaculars.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember the wheel spins at the end of the show were the most hyped up thing in the whole world. And one girl, I think it was a college girl, can't remember her name, spun it, and it was looking good. And Bob's just go, go, go,
yes!
Ends up like that on the net. The flipper is just as close as it can be to flipping without getting over to the dollar for the $1 million. And that was just another how close can you get? And I was like, oh, that hurts. But at the same time, just Bob's reaction to it was just so genuine. Because
how close can you get?
Bob Barker just wanted everybody to win.
He did.
I mean,
I absolutely agree with that.
He was as genuine as could be. Even became an animal activist, which was an amazing thing. Even after, ironically, I believe the first ever item up for bids when he hosted the show was a fur coat. And I don't think we ever saw one after that.
Not many.
If I remember it right. There might have been one or two more, but that was the first ever item up for bid. And then since then, it's been not a single fur coat in sight across many game shows. I haven't seen a fur coat probably since I've watched
currently into the Drew era.
Yeah, it's something that sticks, and I love how much it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Bob really put an impact on everybody. As Eric was saying earlier, especially with the wrestling fans, we lost Terry Funk, and then the 2 days after we lost Bray Wyatt at 36. I remember Friday night on SmackDown, I was watching it live. I was actually on a call with Jose, and I just remember standing up for the 10 bell tribute then, and when they put Bray Wyatt's tribute on, I just lost it. I couldn't hold my emotions together, and I thought all my emotions would have been gone, but I was so emotionally drained. I felt sad for Bob, but it was just what has this week become? We've lost so many people this week alone, and it does really suck, but may Bob, Terry, and Bray just rest in paradise.
Indeed. Yeah, very, very well said, young man. Very well done.
Yeah, I totally agree. And and that's a lasting impression that Bob leaves. The fact that the younger generation can still watch either the Barker era on Pluto TV or the DVD. I think somebody mentioned Gianni did, and as well as YouTube, as long as CBS and Fremantle don't take them down. I hope they're not watching this, by the way.
If they are, can we get that free sponsorship for it, or at least a free subscription to Paramount TV, just for the plug at this point? You know?
Yeah, donate Bob's royalties to the DJ&T Foundation. Scott, thank you very much for joining us. You know our affection for you, pal. Give Heather our best.
Okay, definitely will. Thank you guys for having me. And yeah, just to be like this guy to my left over here, to be a little bit arrogant. Gold Rush King out.
Also, that's a nice way to go out. I like that. Next, joining us is from.
Favorite person.
I'm gonna be nice. I am in a nice mood tonight. Let's actually. No, we're not going to go to. Or are we? Everything's shuffling around? Everything's shuffling around down here.
Should we try Adam again?
We can try Adam again. Sure.
All right. Fingers crossed.
Yes. Yeah. Save me at least another minute or two.
Okay. You're there. Look at some of the.
Please do. Yes.
Chats as well here. Let's see. Robert Bishop says, Bob, thank you for all the memories of The Price is Right. We will miss you. My favorite game was Plinko. Whatever happened to the Bob Barker studio plaque? As far as I know, and this is based on what I've been reading, the plaque's going to still stay at Studio 33. They either have it put in, they have it stored away for now till they finish all the renovations on the studio. Once they get that put up and redone and they move back, from what I hear, they're going to move, they're going to put the plaque back up on that particular sound stage. So as far as I know, they still have it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not employees of CBS or Television City. We're dealing with a question like that. It's a good question, by the way. We're dealing pretty much in the realm of speculation there.
Yeah, that's just based on what I'm seeing so far at this point. And
Still no, Adam. Why don't we try Bobby?
You try Bobby.
And again,
Bobby, come on up. You're the next person to speak on the podcast.
Yes, indeed. I don't think we've talked very much, Bobby and I, but be that as it may, Bobby, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Thanks, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Please tell the folks where you're from, because normally I know this, but I don't know where you're from exactly.
I'm an options trader from Bluefield, West Virginia.
Bluefield, West Virginia. Take me home country roads. And how old are you, Bobby?
46.
Finally!
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I had a hunch you'd say that.
Bobby, please go ahead. What do you have to, how would you like to memorialize or eulogize Bob Barker?
My first memories of watching The Price is Right were during the summers between school. I believe I was about 9 or 10 years old on the first episode that I saw that I can remember. I was immediately drawn to the show. I commend Bob Barker for his good hosting abilities and his deadpan humor. And as to my favorite moments of his, they include one game where he was so surprised that the contestants won. He actually sat down on the floor and said, "We're in the presence of a miracle, folks."
That we are.
Yes, that was the clock game lady who took forever trying to bid on the first item.
And there was another moment during the showcase show, and I think it might have been because the two remaining people tied multiple times. That I remember him saying something to the effect of, if you tie again, I'm disqualifying you and giving the showcase to Rhonda."
Wow. Yeah, one of the first times he was showing a little favoritism. Like, interesting there, Bob.
Yes, and I commend Bob Barker for doing the best finale approach that I have ever seen done in game shows. No one knew that it was his final show until he did the final speech, and I commend him on his expression of gratitude during that speech. That's definitely something that I would definitely imitate if I was doing a final goodbye to anyone like that. And although this is by no means a final goodbye in respect to him and everyone else here, I also say thanks to everybody here and everybody outside of the internet that has allowed me into their lives for all these years. I am deeply grateful, as he said.
Yeah, I'm gonna say his finale on Price is Right was one of those that sort of came as a shock to everybody. Remember, because they were like, "Wait, what? What are you saying?" It was like that moment of just like, "Yeah, Bob's retiring." It's like, I think the news story broke after he had said it initially, because I think it was kept pretty much well under wraps by everybody at that point. So when it happened on air, I think it was sort of a shock to us and everybody who was watching.
Well, incidentally, I actually remember that a little differently. It was Halloween of 2006. I was doing what I was doing every day during that time. I was working a job, getting up really early. My son was a baby at the time, and I was getting up, and I did what I always did, and that was listen to the morning drive on 700 WLW in Cincinnati. And a former colleague and friend of mine, a young man named Andrew Setters, was the morning news anchor at the time for that radio station. He announced that Bob Barker had announced his retirement. And so we knew it was coming, and we just didn't know what day it was. And Bobby, stop me if I'm wrong, but I believe what you're referring to is perhaps the crowd did not know that was going to be his last show, because it was very well promoted on CBS. I remember that because they aired it twice in one day, daytime and primetime. So the primetime audience could see that finale as well.
There could easily have been promos that I either missed or have forgotten, but I do remember that when I tuned into that show, I had no way to know that it was his finale, and I didn't know it until he gave his goodbye speech, and I immediately said, that is the best finale approach I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And that, along with his expression of gratitude, is why it's stuck in my head. And speaking of other things that stuck in my head,
I'll tell you, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it was direct to the point, from the heart, and his goodbye was very well said. And obviously he didn't have a lot of time to go over, so didn't have much to say. And I don't think he wanted to say much either. I mean, he said everything he needed to say over a span of 50 years. How much more could he add other than thank you for inviting me into your homes?
Right.
Yes.
So,
and to mention one other moment of his that struck me funny, that I think should be mentioned. In a contestant's roast session, there was a contestant that bid $9,000 on a pair of surfboards.
Yes, I actually
Bob Barker
remember that.
And Bob Barker said, "You think a surfboard is $4,500? I'm going to give you the bargain of your life.
Right?
I'm going to sell you a new surfboard for $3,000."
Yeah, that's one of the things I loved about Bob personally was that he his humor was so dry. I mean, drier than Pat Sajak, he's pretty dry. And but it worked. He could tell a joke and everyone would laugh. I could tell the same joke and nobody would laugh. That's how good Bob was. That's my point.
That's
So
definitely one memory we'll have of him for sure. But thank you so much, Bobby, for sharing that.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yes,
we appreciate that.
Thanks.
All right, where's Nels?
He had up and left.
He has Faminosade for the time being.
All right, is Will here?
Will is, but he's on mobile, and we're finding out that Stage is not mobile friendly.
Fair enough.
When we go to send the join invite, the button to click accept is hidden behind some stuff that they can't reach.
Yeah. So Discord, get on that and fix that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
at some point.
Our apologies in advance to anybody that's on mobile. If you're trying to be invited up to speak, unfortunately, it's not a thing.
Let's see if Davon can get in on this. I'm not sure if he's on his laptop or what.
He usually is.
There he is. He's here. From Savannah Lamar, Jamaica. I think I pronounced that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Davion Baker, welcome to the Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
So I'll give it as much time, well, 5 minutes. Started watching The Price is Right since 2004 or 2003 because I know it was the debut of the new red and blue turntables. And it was started from my grandmother's, and ever since watching the full show, I've been a fan of the show, even to the end of the era of Bob Barker, and I'm still watching Price is Right still then with Drew Carey, which he is also an amazing host to say. But right now we're talking about Bob. I think the greatest memories I know from Bob is when his returns. From his return to The Price is Right, when he was promoted his book.
Yep.
His 90th birthday.
Yes.
And his last appearance, to be shockingly, would be an April Fool's episode, and where he actually become the host for just one pricing game for Lucky 7, and man, he never missed a step.
No, he did not. He did not.
I would hope he wouldn't, considering he hosted the show for 35 years.
Right.
Even if you get off that bicycle, I'm like, that's ingrained into your DNA, I would feel at that point.
Yeah.
And with all due respect, Lucky 7 is one of the easiest games to figure out on The Price is Right.
Right. I want to say it was like when they went to their first, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was one of their first 6 pricing games they actually debuted on the show.
I think so.
Because I remember when we did that special game here when I was going back through the first 6 pricing games in Price is Right's history. I believe it was one of them. Because I know everybody knows any number was the first one, and then I want to say it was
any number, then bonus game, and double prices.
Yeah, double prices.
The first 3.
Right. And speaking on that, Brandon, I think it was either 2018 or 2019. That was my time I actually go through the decades of Price is Right during Bob Barker's era, and I started from his first episode to his last. Even though I didn't get to watch all those 5,000 plus episodes, but throughout that period, man, Bob was one of a kind. He had that charisma. He had that style. He has that humor. I tell you, even moments like the big wins from Golden Road, Three Strikes, even all the cash game like the grand game, the punch a bunch, man, he could tell you could be excited to every single thing, even the contestant roles, all the moments from there, especially the proposal in 1992. Man, that was an iconic one.
Remember that well.
Yeah, and yeah, and since I heard that announcement of his passing, like I think everybody would agree it was a shocking, but but he did live a long life, and sometimes not everybody could actually live forever. So we have to appreciate everybody as they are right now.
Sure. You know, I remember that proposal very well. There was another one that comes to mind. I cannot remember the guy's name, but spun the big wheel and asked his girlfriend to marry him while the wheel is spinning, and he gets $1, which was exciting. And while I remember the lady in the audience, she's starting to get emotional and everything. While that's going on, Bob's like, "Are you serious?" And then here comes the wheel, lands on the $1. Then he winds up winning the showcase. His girlfriend comes up on stage, puts the ring on her, and that was that. You could not. I mean, you can't. Hollywood can't top that. So
exactly.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Davon, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it, man. Stay cool down there, will you?
We'll do. We just recently got a big rain from yesterday. Like it was unexpected. That's all I could say.
Send some this way, will you?
Right.
Yes, I'm just sending all.
Appreciate that, Davon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One of our newer members is Scott McVeigh, and he's joining us from, I want to say, I know it's Kansas, but is the town Liberty? Is that right?
No, it's actually Hayes, Kansas.
Hayes. I don't know why I was thinking Liberty, but anyway, Scott McVeigh, welcome to our Bob Barker Tribute Podcast.
Well, thanks, guys. How's it going so far tonight?
I think we're okay.
Yeah, we're sort of reminiscing and looking back on a lot of the great memories that Bob's provided for us in his years of hosting The Price is Right and any other programs he's had. What memories of Bob do you have specifically?
Well, I had several good ones here. Probably one of the ones I always notice here during the, especially in the 80s and all that, were the super excited contestants, especially the ones that usually came from America Samoa.
Well said.
Yep, enough said.
I always had a fear of how these people would react when they win big prizes. That always just cracked me up, no matter what happened, though, as well.
Yeah, makes you think that how well was the insurance that Bob had covering him on the days like that, you know?
Oh yeah, and how he's trying to say, no, don't touch me, don't touch me.
In retrospect, do you think the Reagan administration could have dispatched some Secret Service to help protect Bob in situations like that?
They should have.
Yeah, if not, at least Television City should have at that point.
Yeah.
Pick him up, I will take you out.
Yeah, it's true.
Please continue.
Then there was another good one, and I remember back when they were starting to bring out the check game, and how no one could figure out how the game was, and he would try so many different ways of explaining how to play the game, and yet the people still could not understand. Then one day he has this letter from a person at home here telling him how the best way to describe the check game, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah, some people just don't get some of the games on there, like, and we all sit back and watch some of those contestants. We're all scratching like, huh? What are you thinking?
Exactly, yes. And then I got one last good one here. I always remember that always made me smile. Is the running gag he did with the range game.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes.
Yeah, the one where it says, "Don't stop the button until you really need it, or because we can't start it again for 37 hours."
Yep.
Once in a while, he would change it up and say, "We can't start it again until the evening news is ended."
Right.
Yeah, I remember those too. Yes. Well, as being a guy who actually has been alive for more than than the actual Price is Right show has been on CBS, I just have to say that I just admire Bob through all the things he also did. When he appeared in other shows, like mentioned earlier tonight, with the Telltales, the match game appearances, all that good stuff as well. Remembering him when he also, I think, hosted a couple beauty pageants as well during the 70s and early 80s, I believe it was. Yeah. Let's see. And of course, let's see, Truth or Consequences. I actually remember seeing a few episodes on YouTube recently with him in it, and he was great at that. I mean, I'm kind of surprised there's not many more recorded episodes to share to the world for how great he was at Truth or Consequences, to be honest, though.
He was, but again, you know how networks were with tape practices back in the day.
I know, yeah.
They were so expensive they had to reuse them, so like they didn't keep a lot of the stuff until like there was another advancement through technology there where tape became much cheaper for studios and stuff to buy. Then that's when they would actually start archiving a lot of those old stuff. So unfortunately,
it's a damn shame they had to destroy so many of those too.
I
Yeah,
agree.
but say, imagine the library of content we could look back on the history of like game shows. Had we still had some of the stuff around from the late 50s, early 60s into the 70s when they were actually able to start saving some of them.
Exactly, yes.
Well, Scott, really appreciate your time here. Did you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think we said a lot of everything. A lot of stuff I wanted to say was already said before by all the good other great people here. But I just want to say thank you for all the great memories you did give us, Mr. Barker. May you rest in peace, and may we hope that eventually, when I die, I'll get to meet you in the other life.
Well said, Scott. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
We have two people who are still having technical difficulties. We're going to try to get them in here. Do you want to try with Adam first, guys?
Yeah, I think unfortunately all of our folks who are in here on mobile are gonna not be able to make it because again, just from the issues they're having with the app in particular. So unfortunately, to the folks who were in here that are on mobile, guys, I'm sorry. I don't think we're gonna be able to get you on here just because of Discord being Discord, which again we all know is like since we've been using it, like it works 90% of the time, but the 10% it doesn't. It's like we have fails. It fails horribly some days. So.
Well, with that said, then I believe we're out of guests to share. We thank everybody for joining us this evening, and please continue to watch our special show tonight because we are going to have some fun and play some Prices Right as soon as we're done with this and tribute game to Bob's memory. But before we get going, Scruggsy, you said your part, obviously, looking through the comments one last time. Neil's telling us first three were any number bonus game and double prices.
Yeah, I'm aware of the fact that those games there, but I'm thinking like if we're looking at the aspect of like when games debuted on the Price is Right, I want to say Lucky 7 was like one of the first 6 that debuted on the show.
According to Neil, it was August of '73 when Lucky.
So almost a year later.
Yeah.
Okay. And Tommy Hoffman, thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that. Michael and Rosie were the names. That was the guy who proposed to the lady while he was spinning the wheel.
Nice.
That was pretty cool.
I remember hearing about that one, but I missed seeing that. I'm going to have to go look that one up after we're done.
It might still be on YouTube. Before we wrap up this podcast, Brandon said his part a little earlier. Jason, please.
Well, my first memory of ever having seen Bob Barker on anything was, of course, Price is Right. I was either 6 or 7 years old at my grandparents' house because my grandparents used to watch game shows almost on a daily basis. And one of the ones they would watch on the regular was Price is Right. And had I not gone to my grandparents' house that day, I probably would have never found out about the Price is Right as early as I did in my life. It probably would have been like another 5, 6, 7 years later that I would have found out about everything. But I'm glad I got to experience it at such a young age. I think the first pricing game that I could remember from that particular time was On the Nose, where people were playing for cars, and in order for them to get the car, they had to do some specific sporting event type thing where you either had to throw a baseball through a hole, toss a basketball into a hoop, throw a football through a hole, or throw a dart at a dartboard, or anything along those lines. And I was like, man, they really put these people through the ringer that much just for a car? This is me at 6 years old thinking that.
I can see that actually.
Yeah. And then another one I remember from around that time was Hit Me, which is basically
the blackjack game. Yeah.
Yes.
Still one of my favorites to this day.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where in the later years people just plain forgot how to play the game, so they had to retire it. But
same with the poker game.
Yeah. Well, there's many reasons floating around that one. Some of them are disputed on a particular site I probably shouldn't mention. But yeah, like I said, I'm just glad I was able to experience Price was Right and actually get to be introduced to Bob Barker at such a young age. And the news hit real close to home when I got the notifications, all 10 of them, especially from you, Kevin, because you were one of them. It was like first it was Kyle, then I think it was you, then 8 other people said it too. I'm just like, okay, I get it. I've already confirmed it online. I've seen the CBS report. I get it. I don't want to get it, but I get it. But Bob, it's been a hell of a run. You came real close to 100, just like Betty White. I know you're up there looking forward to your 100th birthday up in the great skies above with Roddy, Johnny Olson, and everybody else up there, including your wife, Dorothy Joe. Can't forget her. Bob, we'll see you up there when we see you.
Well said, Jason. And yeah, thanks for cutting more onions. I appreciate that.
Right.
I didn't even have a knife in my hand.
Just very quickly before I bring this radio to a close, Brandon, I know this is your channel, and I want to say thank you very much for allowing me to host this. Yeah, and thank you and Jason both for joining me with this. I really appreciate it. And thanks to all our guests for doing this and for sharing wonderful memories. I mean, some of them I had forgotten about entirely until some were brought up tonight, and they just they came back just like that, and that was the impact that Bob had on us. When I was a little boy, whenever my old man was out of town, Mom and I had our morning routine, and I talked about this before on Gold Rush, that I watched Scrabble, Card Sharks, then Price is Right. And being 4 or 5 years old, I had a hard time distinguishing the difference between Bob Eubanks and Bob Barker because they were on back to back.
Right.
And I was 4 years old in 1987, 1988, somewhere in that range. And I remember Bob coming out with the dark hair, and then one day comes out, and many of you older folks know this, came out the very next day with gray hair. And I remember the reaction that everybody gave, I should say, saying they loved his hair and everything, and it stayed that way. I really didn't have an opinion one way or the other because, again, I was a little boy. What the hell did I know? the more I watched, though, especially when I would stay home sick from school, and again, a lot of this was taking place when my dad was out of town or working, and I, like so many people, watched Bob on during sick days or during the summertime when I could, if I could. Some of my best memories was wanting to become a broadcaster. I looked up to Bob Barker and especially Rod Roddy, the former announcer. And I used to have this habit where I would videotape an episode of The Price is Right, and I would play it back and turn on the closed captions, turn the volume down, and from a young age, read those words. And I learned very quickly that is not an easy job. And even to this day, it's still not an easy job, despite the fact that I've studied broadcasting. I'm a broadcaster and everything, but because that was what I knew I wanted to do with my life, was become a broadcaster. And I owe a lot to The Price is Right for that. And the older I got, the more I watched. Being an over-the-road truck driver, I had a TV with bunny ears, and if I could pick up CBS, by George, I was watching.
Right.
But two specific funny memories I could think of. And I'm surprised that none of you all brought this one up, was the infamous Yolanda moment.
She came on down and they came on out.
Yes, they did.
For those of you who don't know, this woman was called on down. Her name was Yolanda Bowsley. She was wearing a tube top, and she comes running on down, and out they came.
Yep, one of the first early censoring jobs that The Price is Right run that I can remember of. There's probably at least been one other, but that one just was right there on television in front of God and everybody.
The story goes that Bob, back in those days, Bob did not have a monitor, so he had no clue what was going on.
Right.
So when he comes out, everyone is just going absolutely apeshit. Excuse me. And Bob's like, now wait a minute. I have a feeling this is not legitimate. And he starts talking about something else, but he's like, whatever has you people behaving this way, this is exactly the way I want it from here on out.
He said, I know you love me, but you don't love me that much.
Oh man, I love that so much. And I'll tell you, in the memories that we talked about, most of which you can find on YouTube, if you haven't seen them, please do so. Another one, Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah.
I tell you, incidentally, I was talking to a lot of people yesterday about this. Two subjects came up yesterday when I was talking to folks. Barry Manilow was in concert here yesterday, and the passing of Bob, obviously. Mm-hmm. And a lot of folks wanted to talk about Happy Gilmore. And not so much do I recall his line, because everybody wanted him to repeat the line that he gave in that movie. For my money, and I've seen a lot of movies, folks, the best movie scene of all time for me was when Bob Barker kicked Adam Sandler's ass. And I don't mean kicked his ass. He kicked his ass. Mm-hmm. And if you have not seen it, you have got to. And I was so thrilled. The last one of the last primetime shows that Bob gave was I think it was like a celebration of his 50 years in television or something like that. And after Plinko, there was Adam Sandler, who read a poem that was hilarious. And I think Bob almost teared up to see Adam Sandler there. It was so cool. But my dearest memory actually involves my child. I'm sorry in advance, guys.
Okay.
First of all, and anybody who oh man. Okay. Anybody who knows me knows I have a 17-year-old son, Andrew, the light of my life. And I remember when he was born, December 14th, 2005, 8:01 in the morning. He had only been a few hours old, and we had the TV on Channel 10 WBNS out of Columbus. What happens? Double showcase win. And of course, later that night, somebody on Wheel of Fortune hit the jackpot. But the memory that sticks out to me the most was when he got to be a year or two old. Those, all you Price is Right fans know, you have that that light border that pops up when the show starts and everything. And whenever that came up, my son, whatever he was doing, did not matter. He'd be playing with toys. He'd even be crying because he's hungry or needed a diaper change. As soon as that border came up, he was entranced. And he would watch pretty much the entire hour. Sometimes he'd sleep on my lap or whatever else, or next to me, whatever the case might be. And he was not able to. It took him a little bit to learn how to talk. And when he finally did, he started putting some words together, and it went from the light border coming up to the 4 contestants being called down, and you hear Richfield saying, "Here's Bob Barker." And then when he came out from behind those doors, Andrew would go, "Bob, Bob, 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 Bob."
That's great. That is absolutely fantastic.
And obviously, I hate it that he's so young that he doesn't remember that, but he does know who Bob Barker was. He does watch Drew Carey sometimes. He's seen the Barker era, and I do appreciate you, son, for watching that. But those are some of the dearest memories I will hold near and dear to my heart. And of course, his last day. That was far and away, I think, one of the hardest days for all of us. And I don't mean to one-up anybody, with all due respect to Bobby, but we knew it was coming.
Right.
And I remember when he gave that last very poignant speech at the end there, which was very quick. It hit me. I think it hit everybody. And I remember watching that documentary I was telling you about, Perfect Bid. They replayed that, and they had a camera on Bob as he was reliving that moment. He could not. He couldn't keep it together. I don't think anybody could. And now that he is gone, we will miss him terribly. No two ways about it. And I don't want to get too personal, but I have had a lot of struggle in my life with what's in the beyond. But if there is some kind of afterlife when all this is over, and it was that good here tonight, and I will echo it again, he's back with Dorothy Joe. And watching them on Tattletales and wherever else, you knew that was the ultimate power couple. If not Alan Ludden and Betty White.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much all I got. I could go on, but due to time constraints and the fact that we got a game to play, and I'm sure I brought the house down and everything now.
No, you didn't.
We're gonna have some fun and play some Prices Right. And I'm gonna wrap this up by saying this. In 1998, I think it was, when he received his Emmy Lifetime Achievement Award, he gave a wonderful speech, and he closed it with these words. Since this is a Lifetime Achievement Award, it has been suggested that I say something profound, and I shall. Help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. With that, we thank you very much for watching this Bob Barker tribute podcast. May he live long in our minds, in our hearts. And Price is Right fans all over the world, be sure you pay any tribute to him that you can. But for now, for this podcast, like I said, we're not done tonight. For Brandon Scruggs and Jason Myers, this is Kevin Henry saying so long, everybody, and rest in peace, Bob.
All right, folks, stick around. Stick around, our YouTube audience. We'll be back with a game of The Price is Right in just a moment. And we are back here on this special sort of tribute episode here to the great Mr. Barker as we celebrate his life and legacy here with a show that he's still not as synonymous with today as he was originally when he started hosting way back in 1972. We are playing The Price is Right here on this sort of like after we've all had our collective moment to like gather our thoughts from thing, which again, thank you to everyone who spoke on Bob's behalf, and thanks to everyone who shared their moments and their feelings about Bob and what he had with the show, because it was great to hear all those stories and how much his presence on television and in with our game show, one that we all love so very much, has made an impact on each of our lives. So again, appreciate you. And again, thank you so much to our audience out there who has been fantastic watching us. I think we've averaged, close to 25, if not 30 people throughout this stream. So again, thank you so much. Again, it's rare we get a chance to do moments like this, and it just so happened everything sort of fell into place today. So again, appreciate each and every one of you. But now, let's get to the stuff that we're all familiar with here at MVG Productions. It's game show time, and of course, we got to play The Price is Right. But this one's gonna be a little special here. We are actually replaying the very final episode of games from Bob Barker's run from that October episode. I believe the record that we're trying to beat today is 3 of 6 and just over $200,000 in winnings. So, no pressure. But I think it's on everybody to do. So, I think we're all set. We're ready to get to it. You guys ready for some fun?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
We've cried our eyes out for an hour and a half. Let's have some fun with this. Let's play The Price is Right. Here we go.
Here it comes from the MVG Production Studios in Sylvan, North Carolina, television's most exciting hour of fantastic prizes. The fabulous 60-something a minute Price is Right.
Woo! Woo! Let's do this.
Doing this one for Bob tonight, folks.
Man, indeed.
Jason Myers, come on down.
Oh my God!
Jose Cazares, come on down.
Hey!
Justin Ray, come on down.
Yeah.
And Scott Michaels, come on down. You are the first 4 contestants as we play The Price is Right.
Actually, I stopped.
And now, your host for the special Price is Right Memorial Special, Brandon Scruggs, honoring Bob Barker.
Hey, thank you. Thank you all so much. Good luck to everybody here as we celebrate the life and legacy of Mr. Bob Barker with this game, The Price is Right. Let's get started with our first item up for bids. Kevin?
Brandon, first we have some Sport Cruiser bicycles. From Nerve, these his and her Sport Cruiser bicycles are perfect for mountains, for flatlands, and for anybody but fat people like me. So this price can be yours if the price is right. No one gave me a copy for that one.
You can tell. All right, goes to one of you 4 bids close to the actual retail price without going over. Jason, we start with you.
$650.
$650. All right, Jose.
$900.
$900. And Justin.
$1,000.
$1,000, babies. And Scott McVeigh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Scott Michaels originally. Whoops.
So did I. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's not here.
Scott Michaels isn't even in the
That's
chat.
why I thought I wasn't saying anything, but that's all right.
Thank you, producers. I appreciate that.
All right. Let's go 1050.
1050. All right. Let's see. The actual retail price of these bicycles is $11.56. Scott, come on up here.
Yeah. All right. Here I come.
Love the retro cue there. All right, Scott, you got yourself a nice pair of bicycles. You can also play for this.
Scott McVeigh, it's a new car!
Yeah! Woo!
It's the 2021 Chevy Blazer RS all-wheel drive.
And you can win that car playing Lucky 7. If you open up that first door, there's a 4 there. First number, the price of that Chevy Blazer. Of course, it could be yours if you can tell me the right numbers to the price. Here's 7 $1 bills as we play Lucky 7. Of course, for every number that you're off here, as you guess the next number on the price of the car, I take $1 away. At the end, as long as you have $1, you can buy that car for $1. Sounds like a bargain, right? Because it is.
Right.
And we're not even playing Sale of the Century tonight, folks. What kind of deal is that? All right, Scott, get some help from the audience if you want, but I need the next number and the price of that car.
Okay. Well, I think I got an idea. I'm going to try 2.
He says 2. Audience in YouTube land, you are welcome to chime in with us as well and play along and see how well you do with our game here as well. But he says he's going with a 2. Let's see, is that next number a 2? Ooh, 6. Cost you $4 there.
Oh, that's
all right.
Oh.
No pressure, but you're gonna have to exacta one of these next numbers here. So
Yeah. I'll get real close on all 3 of these. Crap. Give me some ideas, guys.
Try 5.
9.
5.
Not
5.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 5 is starting to look pretty good. Let's try 5.
all right, he says 5. Please let this be a 5. Open that door. Is it 5? 7. Okay. All right.
Well,
Now you've got some work to do. You have to get these last 2 exactly on, otherwise you can kiss that car goodbye, my friend. Unfortunately, you got 46,700. What's the next number?
Oh boy. Oh
3.
my God. 3s. I'm seeing that.
I just go
Why
5
not?
again. I don't know why.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go with what I heard. 3. Let's go for it. Just say 3.
I hope it's up there, please. Good luck, man. Open that door and show me a 3. Oh, 4, so close. Yeah, 46,749. Unfortunately,
Hey, I
tough.
tried.
Good effort, Scott. We'll let you spin the wheel here in just a moment. Right now, we need to go back to contestants row for another contestant. Kevin, who we got?
Davon Baker, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Coming down. I'm here.
Welcome, Davon. And here's our next item up for bids.
It's a... Oh, boy.
Oh,
All right, fine. I'll do it.
Oh, my God.
All right, I will do it. I promise. Brandon, fantastic, Brandon. It's a beautiful 5-piece Ivanka truck handbag collection. It's the most fantastic handbag collection you've ever seen in the universe. And this prize can be yours if the price is right. It's going to be fantastic, totally huge. Back to you, Brandon Scrouts.
Okay. Davon, we need a bid.
1,200, please.
1,200.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Straight up from the Jailhouse Rock line on this one. Jason.
1,800.
1,800. All right, Jose.
That was funny as hell. 1,500.
1,500 there. And Justin.
Somewhere Bob Barker is laughing at us.
I hope so.
Item up for bids.
I genuinely hope so.
1801.
And we're making friends early this one.
Really on the trivia?
But never mind, you've all overbid.
Okay.
All right, we'll raise those bids, please. We're going to go lower than 1,200, Davion, we'll start with you.
Well, looks like those bags are cheap. Damn. All right, let's do. Let's go with the 500.
$500 there. All right, Jason.
Oh my goodness.
888.
888. Okay, Jose.
600.
$600 there, and Justin.
900.
$900. All right. Actual retail price of this handbag collection, $775. Jose, come on up.
Right.
Nels is in the sanctuary.
There we go. All right, Jose, guess what? You get to play.
Oh!
Bingo!
Wow.
For a chance at $50,000.
All right.
All right, of course, you know you get one chip for free worth $10,000. You got to earn the other 4 by telling me something about these prize items over here. Starting with this first one, Kevin.
Yes, sir. That is a self-powered weather radio.
All right, and it's not $33, but is the 3 the first number or the last number in the price?
Well, I know a 3's in there. Help me out, y'all.
I'm not sure. I know it's a Jason either way.
Second three.
I think the first one.
I'm gonna go with the first 3.
All right, first 3 is at $30. No, $63 there.
Jesus, that stuff's expensive. Come on,
Yep.
please.
All right, well, let's see if you can get a Plinko chip here with this next item here. Kevin?
Next is something I am pretty sure neither of Donald Trump's wives have ever had to use. The Sunbeam Steam Master Iron.
At least not in their later years, I'll say that much. All right, 1 or 7, Jose?
What do y'all think? I'm thinking 7 here, guys.
Yeah, I'm thinking
It
seven.
cannot be over $10.
It's okay.
I'm gonna go with 7.
All right, come on. Is it 7? There we go, $47.
Hey,
Nice.
there we go.
All right, you got 1 chip. Let's get another one with this next item. Kevin?
Next from Vector, it's a 12 jump start system.
Ooh.
Yep. All right. Not $33, but 3 or 3, sir.
Oh, not this again.
Yeah.
Again.
I think just thinking 3.
I think it's the last 3.
Last 3 again. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm gonna go with the crowd this time. I'm gonna go with the second 3.
All right, let's see if it's their last 3. It is. Oh, $35 there.
Of course. Of
All right.
course.
Got one more chance if this was this final item, Kevin.
And last, we have a K-Word Expert PCI DVD maker. Why don't I just say the entire alphabet while we're at it?
I mean, if you want, but then we'll be playing Blockbusters, but that's a whole different game show right now. All right, 6 or 5, Jose?
6.
Really?
Yes, a 6 is going to be $69.
Mark, shut up.
No, Mark.
No Nels picking.
How was that,
You
man?
can't deviate away from that, can you?
I'm thinking
another
5.
tough one. What y'all thinking?
I'm thinking 5.
Audience in YouTube land saying the second 5. So
I'm gonna go with him then. 5.
all right. First off, Mark, for you.
Thank you.
And second of all, is it a 5? It's 25. All right.
Hey, okay.
Okay, you got 3 chips, sir. That could be $30,000 if you're lucky. All right. Drop that chip onto our board there. 10 slots up there at the top of the board. 1's all the way to the left. 10's all the way to the right. Where do you want me to drop this first chip for you?
Let's start with number 3.
Number 3, over here in front of the L. Let's see. There it goes down the board, dropping into and looking good for $10,000.
Right. Yes.
There you go.
All right, that's 1 down, 2 more to go. Let's see if you can do it again.
Okay.
Do it again.
Let's go 7 this time.
All right, that's 7 over here to your little to the right. Here it goes down the board. Falling down quickly, and that one's going to go into. Oh, just missed it.
Well, they can't all be winners.
Well, let's see if we can make this last one a winner. Where do you want to put it?
Gotta end it with a bang in the middle. Number 5.
Dead center. Come on. Right down the middle for 10 grand. Here it goes. Wild slot goes to the left and $100.
Well.
It's okay. $10,100. Not bad at all, sir. Not bad at all.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yep, you'll be spinning the big wheel here in just a minute. Right now, we need to go back to contestants row because we need another contestant to fill in your spot where you were. So, Kevin, who is that lucky player who's going to be taking his spot?
I don't want any more Trump prizes.
I'll try not to.
In the meantime, Bobby Bailey, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
All right. Bobby, welcome aboard. Let's hear our next item up for bids.
We have a classic knife set from Kershaw. Even Gordon Ramsay wouldn't approve of that.
All right. Knife set there, Bobby. What do you bid on that nice knife set?
$675.
$675. All right, Justin.
$850.
$850. Davion.
I'll go $700.
$700. And finally, Jason.
$1 hair.
$1. There we go. There's our first dollar bid of the night. And the actual retail price of this one is $9.89. Justin, come on up. Cutting his way through the competition with that knife set. He's taking it home.
No pun intended.
And now, Justin, you're going to be playing for something nice. Oh, you're playing the range game for a Sun Tracker Party Barge. All right. Here we go. When you ever see the range, stop. Low ends at 15,000. Top ends at 15,200.
We can't start early. It's time again for 37 hours.
You got 15. Says stop it right there. Okay. As long as it's between 15,204 and 15,354, you're a winner. A little low on that one. Yeah, it was $15,090 was the price on that party barge. That's okay, Justin. That's one of those rough ones you can get to. But all right. You get to spin the big wheel here in just a moment because we're going to get right to it now for our first showcase showdown of the night. Remember, players as close to $1 as you can without going over in one or combination of 2 spins will get you $1,000 and a chance for up to an additional $25,000 in our bonus spin. So, Justin, you got the knife set? Let's see if you can add some money to it.
All right. Now.
All right. Anybody want to say hello to?
My mom, and thank you, Bob, for all the years of hosting this show.
Yes, it's great. And look at this. Oh, 90 cents. 90's not bad, Justin.
Stop.
I figured as much. All right, stand over there. You got 90 cents. Scott, you need a 95 or $1, sir.
Well, let's go for it. Let's go ahead now.
Anybody you would like to say hello to?
Yes, I'd like to say hello to my parents, my family, my little granddaughter too, and of course the Bob Barker up in the guys above.
Maybe. Do we have $1? Do we have $1?
Oh,
yes, we do. $1.
Wow.
There we all right.
Nice.
Well done, Scott. $1 for you. $1,000. You get a bonus spin here in a minute. Jose, you can't beat him, but you can sure as heck tie him.
I gotta follow that. All right, spin it.
Anybody you'd like to say hello to?
I'll call the family here in Texas, and thank you for all you've done, Bob. You will be missed. Rest in peace, brother.
All right, and looks like you're going to need another spin because you're starting off with a dime. You need 90 cents.
Dime of doom. All right. Spin it.
10 cents on the first spin, looking for 90. And there it goes. Does it have enough to get around? I'm afraid it does not. But hey, enjoy the 10,100 in cash you won already, sir. Not bad there. Well done.
I'll definitely take it. Thank you.
All right, Scott, you're going on the showcase here, but now it's time for that bonus spin. Of course, you land on one of those green sections, it's going to get you an additional $10,000. You land on that $1, it's going to get you $25,000, sir. Of course, remember the wheel's got to go around at least once, or it doesn't count, and you won't be able to spin again, unfortunately. So
All
make it
right.
a good
Well,
one.
let's see if I can make a good one here. Ready now.
Ooh, almost maximum spinach. Let's see if you can get there. There it goes. Will it have enough to get around?
No. That's okay.
That's okay, though, Scott. Not bad. So you got $1,000. You got your one bid items. You're up to $21.55 so far on the evening. And we'll see you in the showcase here in just a little bit.
All right.
For now, we need to play another contestant so we can play some more pricing games. Kevin, who you got?
Brandon, you know who I've got? I've got Will Medina. Come on down, Will. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
All right. Will, we got you up here, and you're going to be bidding first on this.
It's some Zoji Rushi small kitchen appliances. Now I know how Jose feels.
Right? Not so easy, is it?
But yeah, Zoji Rushi is actually the correct name for it, as far as I know. So
hooray! I did a thing. Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
Good job. All right, Will, what are you bidding on it?
Will.
Right.
Have we lost Will already?
He's there, but he's not responding.
He's about to
Andrew,
be
give him a chance to bid.
Right?
He's about to be.
And Max.
All right, Max bid. All right, Davion, we'll go to you.
All right. Let's go with $1,000.
$1,000, baby. All right, and Jason.
$700.
$700 there, and Bobby.
1,002.
1,002. $2 worth of cushion. You are so generous. So generous.
Watch the ARP to be 1,001.
Actual retail price $781. Jason.
Yeah, that was a good bid for Jason.
Not bad, sir. Off by $81. That's a good one to start with, but maybe you'd like to play for this.
It's a semi-concert grand piano.
Ooh.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah, 7'1" semi-concert grand piano can be yours if you can simply tell me, is the price $18,058 or $16,615?
$16,615.
$16,615 is what he says. Do we have ourselves another winner?
Please.
Punch it. Yes, we do. Big winner. Good job. Nicely done, Jason. Well played. Enjoy the piano. And now I think we got Will back, so we need another contestant.
Aaron Glenn, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
All right. Will, are you? Okay, we got you in there. All right. Next item up for bids, Kevin?
It's a Stein World Royal palm chest and mirror. So get yourself looking really, really good. Not necessarily as good as me, but do your best.
All right. Aaron?
1,200.
1,200, you said?
Yeah.
All right, 1,200 for you. Bobby?
1155.
1155, he says. Okay. Will?
Don't throw tomatoes at me, damn it. If I can get this bid at 1,500.
All right, 1,500 it shall be. All right, and Davion?
There's some close bids. I'll go generous 1,505.
And loving the $5 cushions, being so generous. Let's see, actual retail price of that chest and mirror is $1,250. Aaron, come on up here.
Wow.
Nice bid.
Off by $50, Aaron. Good job. So you've made it up here on stage now, and now you're going to get a chance to play for this.
Brandon, we're playing for a Howard Miller Miala floor clock. With these grocery prices, Nature Valley granola bars, a 12-pack, yummy, yummy, followed by a preserved recycled toothbrush, ew, just ew. Follow that up with a bottle of Lipton Brisk lemon iced tea. Then we have some Kleenex Cottonelle wipes. Good thing we didn't offer those during COVID. And finally, a bottle of Wesson canola oil.
All right, time to do a little grocery shopping, Aaron, as we play the grocery game. Of course, in this one, you got to get between $20 and $22 worth of products. Thank you, inflation. Get between $20 and $22 worth of any combination of these products, and you walk away with that floor clock, sir. So, which one you want to take with first? Give me an item, and then tell me how many of that item you'd like.
Okay, I'll start with the granola.
Okay, how many of the granola bars? It's a 12-pack.
Give me 4.
4 granola bars. Okay, each granola bar is $3.19 times 4. That will be $12.76. All right, you need between $7.24 and $9.24.
Okay. I'll take the toothbrush.
Okay, the toothbrush. How many toothbrushes would you like?
Give me 2.
2 toothbrushes. All right, each toothbrush is $3.49 times 2, $6.98 for a total now of $19.74. All right, you need something that is. You need an item that's probably less than $2.26, sir.
The brisk. One
drink.
One drink.
One drink for all of us.
Yeah, one drink.
All right. Well,
Mark.
Those have been good.
Just. Okay, I'm going to. Mark, stop it. Second of all, will one tea give him the win? Let's see. That bottle of tea is $1.59. Added to your winnings, total of $21.33 is a winner. There's the other items there. Well done, Aaron. Enjoy that 4 o'clock. We'll see the big wheel in just a moment. Now I got time for one more contestant. Who's it going to be? It's our Kevin Henry.
Kevin Henry, get down here.
I fell.
All right. All right. Will is still here, so we're not going to replace him. So everyone else, thank you so much for trying in. And now let's see what our next item up for bids is.
It's a new bass guitar. From Spectre, it's the Rex4 bass guitar plus 10 guitar lessons. So learn to play bass like Geddy Lee.
All right. Kevin, what do you bid on the bass guitar and the lessons?
$2,998.
$29.98. All right. Bobby.
$25.25.
In the year 2525. I'm probably showing my age with that song reference there.
Can't resist to say this number. $350.
All right. Will.
I don't want to, but I'm going to have to. 3006.
3006. Okay. Very specific. And Davion.
You do it once. $1 hair.
$1 hair, he says. Somebody's going home with his guitar lessons, and it goes to the person who bid $17.99. Davion.
That's nothing for Davion. You're all a little bit.
That's right.
Everybody's taking.
All right, Davion, no pressure, but we need you to win this one in order to give us a win for the show. Playing first for this.
It starts with a wood 17 cubic foot chest freezer. Speaking of drinks, put them all in there. And if you don't like that, well, you could win this. How about a new car? The 2021 Nissan Rogue Sport S all-wheel drive. I've driven one. They're awesome.
And you can win it playing the very first pricing game ever in this one, any number. Of course, first number of the price of that car is a 2. We will add, there's every number up there, 0 through 9 on the board, including another 2. The first prize that you light up is the one that you're going to take home. And we really want that car to beat the record for this show from the episode. So Audience, give him some numbers. Give me a number you think is in the price of that car, Davion.
1.
3. The other 2.
9.
8. All right. Okay. My first thought in my mind was 3. So let's go with 3 first.
All right, starting with the 3. Show me a 3. Ooh, in the piggy bank. You got $3 down there.
Okay.
Well, somebody check the door. Make sure the Loch Ness Monster isn't around. Just one check.
If that's in there, I'll be line up my ass.
All right, Davion, I need another number.
Okay. Let's try the other 2 where it is.
All right, maybe it's a 2. Light up that other 2, please. There we go.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
That was great. All right, got a 2 there. Where to?
Let's try number 4.
All right, number 4. Let's hope that second number is a 4. Nope. And the price of the ice chest there.
Okay. Let's try number 1.
No, baby.
What was that? You said 1?
Yes, let's try 1.
All right, maybe it's there. Let's see. Show me up that 1. Oh no!
Oh no!
You about to have $3 and a penny in the piggy bank, sir. Be careful.
7.
What do you guys think?
7.
9.
0. 0.
0.
Okay.
7.
5.
Let's try 7.
All right, he is set. Call for 7. Let's see it in the price of the car. We want to see a 7. Oh no! $3.71 is what you got.
Oh, I was right for the last 3 numbers.
You needed 28,269 for the car. Davion,
Damn.
you got $3. That's enough for a hamburger.
And contestants not appearing on stage may or may not receive Pringles potato chips. They will not receive that because those are mine. Back off.
Buy them at a supermarket.
And some Taco Bell refried beans. Now, I'm not going to share that with Nels Nesrod. I'll tell you that right now. But if he happens to get a hold of him, he can. We can clean him up with Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, though that might not be enough.
Yeah.
And finally, I cannot read that.
A 12-ounce bag of Fanatic balsamic rice. That's what.
And now here's Brandon Scruggs with our Showcase Showdown.
By the way, thank you.
All right, Davion, you're up first, sir.
Davion.
Anytime today, Davion.
While we're young.
Real.
Let's spin.
There we go. There he is. Anybody you'd like to say hello to, Davion? You may.
I like to say hello to everybody, including my family, and
very close. Man. All right, 15 cents is what you've got. You're gonna have to spin again.
And he's on the chat. Oh, there's
lagging.
Davion, I need it.
His computer's being a slant.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
I'd like to spin, please.
Okay, there it is. You got 15 cents in his first spin. And in his second spin, looking for an 85. Here it comes. And there it goes. Maybe 45? Nope, you got a dime. You got 25 cents there. All right. I've seen people actually win this wheel with less, which I don't know how, but it's happened. Let's see. Aaron, you got to beat a quarter.
All right, spin.
Anybody you'd like to say hello to?
Hello, everybody, and of course, rest in peace, Bob Barker. You will be missed.
You will. Thank you so much. And Aaron, maybe? He got $1! All right.
Price is Right strikes again.
$2 winners today on the big wheel. Love to see it. Jason, again, like I told Jose earlier, you can't beat him, but you can tie him.
You know, I make the joke on Jose's show that every time Aaron plays and he gets called on down, oh, Aaron wins, everybody else goes home. Spin.
Anyone else you'd like to say hello to?
Everybody out there in YouTube land, everybody and my family, and to the great Bob Barker.
Very nice. 75 cents, sir. You need that quarter Davion had.
Hey, Davion, you want to give me the quarter and we'll just call it a tie?
I will do everything with that quarter for you.
Spin.
All right. There it goes. 75 cents in the first spin. We are looking for a quarter portion for the win.
Oh, no.
Good boy.
And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to it. We are in the wrong part of town. And that's going to be rough there. $1.60, Jason. Hey, enjoy the piano, sir. Aaron, you got the dollar. You're moving on to the showcase round as well. But now we got to see if you could pick up another $25,000, sir. When you're ready, give it a spin.
Okay.
Wait, wrong show.
Now.
All right. This one's got promise. It's gonna have to move though. And yep, we're on the wrong half of the wheel there, Aaron, unfortunately. But hey, $1,000 for you. You got $29.67 on the day so far. 2 low winners here. Will somebody take home a lot in our showcase round? Find out in just a second.
Literally just a second.
Because we're here in the showcase round. Aaron's our top winner. Scott McVeigh, you're our runner-up. And remember, if you're within $250 or less, you win both showcases. Kevin, tell us about showcase number 1, please.
I'd be glad to, Brandon. First of all, Scott McVeigh and Aaron, I should say. You're going to be playing for a treadmill. That is so
Labyrinth Aquarium.
Yeah, I cannot read those.
Yeah, the text is all smudged.
I see a modern spring mirror in there. I'm going to get through this, folks. Don't mind me. How about we try this again? How about a Smooth Fitness 5.65 treadmill, followed by a Labyrinth Aquarium, and then a Diamond Leaf Bracelet. How lovely. A Flex Steel Dana Living Room Group, and a modern spring mirror. Also, 7 days of the Monarch Greek Isles Turkey Cruise via Athens. And this showcase can be yours, and you'll be blinging and traveling if the price is right.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, Aaron, you are the top winner, sir. You want to bid on this showcase, or you want to pass it over to Scott and wait for showcase number 2?
Let's pass it to Scott.
All right, Scott, a wonderful showcase here of great prizes here. Run through them again real quick. You have a treadmill, you have an aquarium, you have a diamond leaf bracelet, a brand new living room group, a spring mirror, and a 7-day cruise via Athens through the Greek Isles. So, total all that up and give me your bid.
Okay, I think I got an idea here. I'm going to go $21,465.
$21,465. Is that your final bid?
Yes, it is.
All right, we're locking that in. Aaron, that means this showcase is yours. Kevin.
That's right, and if you win this showcase, you can take it right back to Detroit with you. And as soon as I can read them for sure, I will do so, because we are having a little bit of a technical difficulty here. But I know one of the things you're going to play for is a new car, which is a 2021 Honda CR-V EXL all-wheel drive hybrid. And Brandon, I apologize, but I do have to work backwards here, because he's also playing for an Elmira Northstar refrigerator and freezer, a Sony Vaio TV PC desktop computer, a 7-night European rail tour via Venice, and this showcase, where you'll also be doing some traveling as well as driving, can be yours if the price is right.
All right, Aaron, a great showcase for you there. Again, 7-day railroad tour through Europe via Venice, a Honda CR-V hybrid edition, a Sony Vaio desktop computer. It's also a television apparently, and an Elmira Northstar refrigerator freezer. So Something for literally every room in your house, and then you're going to see every room in somebody else's house across the country. Or at least across Europe in this case. So what do you bid?
Let's go 52,375.
$52,375. Is that your final bid?
Final.
Final it is. All right. Those bids are locked in, and we'll see which one of them is going to win our showcase today. But first, we have this important news watch from Health Watch News with our own Kevin Henry.
Yeah, this is usually Jason's forte, but I'll give it my best shot. As a 2-year-old survey of FDA scientists shows a lack of trust in the agency's ability to protect the public from dangerous drugs, Cheryl Atkinson looks at CBS's past reporting on the same issue. In other words, stay the hell away from dangerous drugs.
Agree.
There it is. All right.
Never get drugs bad.
Okay, time to find out who our winner is going to be on this special game. We'll start with you, Scott.
Oh God, Travis.
You bid $21,465 on your showcase, and I tell you the actual retail price of that showcase is $28,313. Difference of $68.48. Not bad. Aaron, you got to be closer than $68.48, and you'll be today's winner. You bid $52,375 on your showcase, and I'm here to tell you that the actual retail price of that fabulous showcase is $49,159. You are over. Scott McVeigh, you are tonight's big winner.
Yay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well done, sir. $30,468 on the day. And overall here on this special game of The Price is Right, we managed to tie the record for the show. We went 3 of 6, and we've won a collective total of $64,570. All right. Didn't beat the cash prize total, but hey, not bad, though. Not bad. But again, at the end of the day, this one is, more importantly, this one is for a man who has made our lives much happier, at least the days we had off as kids when we didn't have to go to school. And that is, of course, the legendary man himself, Mr. Bob Barker. So, again, without him, a lot of this could not be done. So, Bob, in your memory, we say thank you so much for everything you did. And that's going to do it, folks, for this special live stream here at MVG Productions. I hope you all enjoyed. We put some hard thought and love into this one, and this one was special for you. So, from all of us here at MVG Productions, for Kevin Henry, for Jason Myers, and myself, Braden Scruggs, I'm simply going to say what Bob has told us many times over 35 years, hosting The Price is Right. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to please help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you next time.